That's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. In the lead and about to bin it in the wall. You want to stick around to see how it ends? Good lad.
Oh no!
Hey everybody, it's Spark666 and welcome to my highlights reel for my APS Racing League race during Formula 1 2020. We are in Baku, which is in Azerbaijan. That's a very twisty and very high-speed track actually there right now, with that being a street circuit. This is this is my first season in a league race, so it's quite an interesting one that I've been streaming them regularly every Sunday on Twitch. So what you're seeing now is taken from that live stream. So this is why I'm looking lively during my webcam, but I'm actually recording it over myself. So yeah, we got through into Q1, which isn't too bad going for us. I think we got through on the soft tyre, was quite a comfortable lap as well. I started to play a little bit risky here because I thought I was trying to go through with the medium tyre. Now, if you know Formula 1, this gives you a tremendous advantage. So, a pretty decent lap actually on the medium compound tyre. I mean, this is an assist here, so I ended up having the dynamic racing line on, which I have to be honest, I do need for a track like this. So, as you'll see, you're coming down to the pit lane straight now. We're about to start our qualifying lap. Just to give you a bit more context, I'm an assist tier 2. It is my first time in a racing league. It's the sort of the lower tier. So let's see how well they get on here. So we come down to the first corner there, go down to third, ride the brake and get into the line, get it stopped. Don't go too wide there, so that's that's not too bad. I actually stay in third gear there as opposed to going down to second, which is what I normally do. We just cut through the remaining of the lap. We get through into the castle section. The line is actually helping me out quite too much there. Yellow line, which thankfully in the Codemasters game they're not too rigorous in terms of policing. Otherwise, I would have ended up like Sebastian Vettel in Bahrain, unfortunately. To come down there, as you'll see, I've got it actually takes me 2 laps to get a decent lap together. I go purple across both sectors. I end up going P4 actually in the timing sheet, so it's not too bad for a lap on the medium tyre. It's the fastest one we got around so far, so I'm looking confident now. I'm feeling quite confident about this one at this point. I feel like I can chance it, stay in the pits, depending on how everybody goes to the soft tyre. I think it's enough to get through into Q3. On the pace that I've got right now, quite a few runners there. I'm on my teammate SLR Hicklin, who's come out on soft tyres, so he could be a threat to us. So he may very well knock us out. However, we manage to get through. We end up in P6 overall, the fastest in the medium run tyres. That's going to give us a big advantage going into the race, because now it's the balanced tyre. It's where you
sets of soft tyres to play with.
It's decent in terms, it's balanced on wear and pace, so that helps me out quite a bit. So what I'm going to show you now is my first lap for Q3, which or clips of it. It's my first sort of clip lap of Q3 to show how well I got on there. For there, I keep it in third again when I get to tier 2, then go down to DRS straight. You often try. With this track, you have to kind of short shift early just so you can counteract the wheel spin and make sure you can get a decent amount of traction. As you go down into turn 3, and this is quite a twisty section. It's full of 90-degree corners, which you think would be quite easy, but it's just those curves which are absolutely notorious. Like, as soon as you make a single bit of contact with them, apart from maybe that one there, or the left-hander, the right-hander would just punish you. So it's a decent lap so far. I feel like we're sticking to the line quite well. And this one is the one where everyone kind of tends to overshoot. Into the castle section, they're really tight and twisty. Thankfully, we don't do a Charles Leclerc there. We managed to keep it on the line. Get down there into, stay up there in third gear. So we are coming down onto near the end of the lap. We have a notorious curve coming up right here that if you want to get a fast advantage, you basically have to mount. We end up not mounting. We end up avoiding it altogether just for the sake of preserving tyre life, which I don't really think I was doing, because in Q3 you can go all out with your soft tyres. Decent line through the final corner, so we're going through now onto the last pit line straight. It's about a 2-kilometre straight down here. It feels like it just goes on absolutely forever. So there we are. At this point I was feeling quite confident about this particular lap. It was okay, I think I would say the least. It was okay. It was coming around the times here, so it comes down to a sub 1 minute 38, which actually takes us into P1. And later on down the line, we end up staying there. I go out again to try and improve on the lap. Obviously, we lost time during the castle section down there, but it's looking really, really good for us. In our I think it's my 4th ever league race, we are looking very, very good to take pole position here. And unfortunately, we are down a little bit in the second sector, but we get a nice exit out the final corner, and we set ourselves up brilliantly, getting on down to the 2 kilometers straight for the 3rd sector here.
But not quite by much.
Looking down, looking at the setup I actually used a variation of James Baldwin's setup for this track, where he actually set, I think, about 1:36 within the time trial sheets. So we can power down to the line, we keep the line as tight as possible. We actually improve, another purple in the last sector there, and there we go, it's pole position. My Xbox knows it's a good job as well. It's even sent me an achievement to say, well done, Georgie. Well done indeed. So there we are then, pole position for my 1st ever league race. As you can see from my webcam, I am absolutely loving it.
Yes.
Coming up into the race, we obviously had the formation lap. We also had quite a long time to wait for everybody else behind me there. So it was just... I'm not really sure what happened here. I think I got just way far myself ahead of Mr. Wiggles in the racing point. Now with everybody's finally caught up, it is just a case of making sure the overtake button is on, the rich energy mode is on, and hopefully that we don't wheel spin, because with all the ERS and everything activated, I'm really going to need to short shift early just so I can maximise traction coming out. It's going to burn my rear tyres, which isn't particularly a good thing around this Baku track. It really does burn up it burns up your rear tyre, because it's all about traction, all about getting that speed in a straight line, as it's this is quite well pointed. It's a very low downforce street circuit, which is an interesting mix, and it's had 2 great races, 2 sort of mare races, but it shows to show why it's earned a spot on the calendar. So there we go. We are just about to load up. Thankfully the server hasn't crashed on us, so we are coming up to get ready to start the race. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we're underway. We short shift straight away into 4th. We get a pretty decent start, but Wiggles looks to it might have gotten to jump on us. We get out of the turn initially to leave him a little bit of space, and we go down the first corner there. Inevitably, there's yellow flags in sector 1, so there's been a little bit of contact, I presume. Down to 4th, 5th, and keep the overtake on and try and build a gap towards Wiggles if only we can. And straight away, look at that, we have a safety car straight away. And it's all about keeping the time under the delta here, because I did that in one of my first league races in the Dutch Grand Prix. Ended up getting a 5-second penalty for that, and I tell you what, that is not appealing at all. I think it actually was China. Yeah, it was China, my 1st ever league race. My 2nd ever league race, when I ended up getting a penalty for speeding under the safety car delta, which I think for this year you have to run under the VSC delta to ensure your time is go. We get onto about 3 laps forward, and the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. Now this is where I effectively become the safety car until it pulls in. I have to keep the tyres warm, have to keep everything warm, watching the cars behind me just to make sure that I don't get anyone trying anything sneaky, anyone trying to jump on me, keeping the tyres warm once again, just keep going around there. I'm feeling pretty nervous at this point. I feel like quite sweating, because I was at any point yet I was going to particularly throw it away, which I suppose you've seen the thumb. And then coming down into but there we go, we drop it, we dropped the clutch, we are away. We got a pretty decent start. It's about 3/10 of miles. There's not enough for Mr. Wiggles there to really make a move on us. We come down to the first corner, get the braking and everything right. Taking a little bit wide as well, just to left. I think I was a bit kind there. I left Wiggles a little bit of room just in case he tried to do anything daring and overtake me. But I've known him in the league. He's a pretty sensible racer, and he's got his head pretty much screwed on. So I doubt he would have tried anything as insane as that. I mean, he gets some people yeeting, and thankfully he wasn't one of those people. So go down there, we end up building a gap on the medium tyre as well. So we've saved a little bit of tyres and a little bit of fuel as well. They actually put it onto lean just to give us the ability to run rich for quite a long time, just so the pace is always going to be there. I end up overfueling the car as well by about 2 laps, just to make sure I have the fuel available to me to push, just in case the opportunity arises. Like, it feels strange because in the Formula 1 races they tend to underfuel the cars. I prefer to overfuel, and just to make sure in the video game that I have enough fuel to be able to mount a challenge, because I find fuel saving, particularly, I don't know if anyone in the experience practice on the career mode, but I find fuel saving quite hard to be able to run to the delta and being able to run the being able to look after your tyres as well. So coming down into the end of the first lap, my first ever lap leading underneath, we had the safety car, so I don't think that's particularly counted. So we come up to the straight here. We are about to complete the first ever lap led by myself in a league race. We're going to, but we lose the back end, and we have hit the wall. It has not gone well. We have to go into the pit straight away, and then unfortunately we are going to lose so much time. We're going to lose so much time, and I damaged myself there as well for good measure. It is not going well. It is not going well for us at all. We have absolutely ruined our... But thankfully a safety car has come out in front of us again. So whatever happens to me, I am not going to lose anything. I will catch up to the back of the pack at the end of this race. We've got the hards on as well. It means we can go very, very long into this race.
I can't believe it.
I imagine there'll probably be another safety car up at this point. So that's how I ended up in that situation. Unfortunately, it's not... At this point, I was crying on the inside. I was crying on the inside. I felt like Sergio Perez just before the formation lap, except my car didn't shut down on me. I ended up binning it myself, almost. I mean, thankfully, I didn't end up retiring from the race. I still had a shot. We end up catching up to the rest of the field. I end up in P11 in the end, with safety car coming in as well. We've got the AlphaTauri in front of us, so it's all to play for now. It's all to play for. We have to just, now I'm on the harder tyres now, I have the advantage of that. We can keep them in the window, we can keep them healthy, and they can go quite long into this race. I mean, I think if realistically, I could potentially go to the end. I could go to the end with everybody else starts, but there have to be some very conservative driving here. We're preparing to resume racing here. I'll almost overtake the AlphaTauri under the safety car there. I had to wait for people to go. People usually wait for quite a long time to actually overtake. No, not overtake. To actually drop the clutch behind the safety car at this point. So we're keeping this out, just trying to make sure that we're capitalising where we need to. We come down to the here. We're along side by side, and it's just so anticipating. I mean, that almost makes my attempt go early. And oh, they're so close. We are so close. We're on the inside. We go away. We go. I think you literally wait until the start-finish line to overtake. So we passed the first AlphaTauri and are up into 10th position. Already we are in the points, which I feel normally I'll be finishing in the lower end of the points in my league races, which is particularly good. But nevertheless, I will happily take where I am right now in relation to nearly ruining my race at the end. So there we go. We overtake the other AlphaTauri. We are up now into P9. Still loads and loads to play for. We are behind the Ferrari of Philosopher over there, which I think it was his first league race, and he's putting on quite a decent amount. Zog eventually lags behind me in the Williams. He lags behind me, so we decide to go around the outside, just about making a stick. Thankfully the curb doesn't punish us too much in there. So there we are. We are back up into 8th position there, on the way now to what could be a fantastic recovery drive for us coming a lot for this Azerbaijan league race. It's so tricky this castle section here. We come down to later on in the laps. We've got Richie M in Haas. He's been passed by Philosopher. We hang around to the back, waiting for an opportunity to strike. I mean, we're not going to overtake it particularly into this corner, so I actually back out, brake early, getting down into second, set myself up quite nice, got the overtake and DRS activated. We're up alongside the Haas, coming down towards the end of the straight. We're coming up to turn 3 right now, big key braking point there, and there it is, almost a minor little bit of touch. He ends up braking, and I end up got a warning there for a collision with him, which I think I might have just marginally touched the back of his car, so I was prepared to accept that warning to an extent, but I don't think I forced him off the road there. It was just a case of him getting a big header. So he goes to overtake the racing point. I am right behind the Ferrari, and we end up following him through. We go down to turn 2 now, and it's an overtake done there for us. So already we have clawed ourselves back up the grid order into one of the top positions on the in the field now. So we come down to lap 13, I believe. Yeah, lap So quite far into the race now. So this is me up against Philosopher, and it was quite a while to actually overtake, quite a while to pass him. And once again, the safety car is deployed. Now this is quite a crucial decision for us, because with everybody else having gone on to different tyres at the end of the first safety car period, I could stay out and lead the race. But what I chose to do at the end, I chose to come in with the to change for medium tyres, just to guarantee that nothing's gonna that the tyres aren't going to give up on me to the end. I had another set of softs available, but going on to the medium tyres just gives me that kind of safety net to make sure I can get through to the end of the race. It was a little bit slow pulling away. I had to wait for the Ferrari behind me to come on out, and we end up on P3 with a fresh set of tyres, ending up absolutely binning it and potentially ruining our race. The safety cars and tyre changes served us up a treat. We are in P3 right now. We could potentially win our first ever league race here. The safety car is coming in at the end of lap 16. We're trying to keep everything warm, and we are coming up. Safety cars coming in at the moment. This is the point where you're just judging for when the other car is going to go. We've got Greg behind me as well in the other racing point. He's another really fast driver. He looks to have gone, and yeah, we've stayed just behind the Ferrari, but we're not quite a bait towards the racing point yet. So here we go. Can we find ourselves a way past the Ferrari of Philosopher? We come up to the castle section now. This is lap 17. We're still getting we're still to the head, and he's done a Leclerc. Philosopher has done a Charles Leclerc. He has done a Leclerc, and that has brought out the virtual safety car, and that has put us into second position for this race. Second position, where we've only got Supermac to pass now in the McLaren, and this is absolutely unbelievable. It's a race we have gone from zero, and we look to be getting back to hero again. We have a 2-second gap to catch up to with Supermac, and once we get to roughly lap 20 or 21, we are behind the McLaren now, about 6 tenths behind, 5 tenths behind. We've got the DRS, Rich, overtake on, we go around to the outside, braking, which you have to leave in just enough room at the top of the corner. He's just behind me there, so I have to make sure we counter grab, but we have got the place. We are now back in the lead of this Grand Prix. That's more or less how things are coming to stay. Ran to lap 23. Absolutely epic. I cannot believe this. This is fantastic.
Faster sections out the way. Last corner now. Going on to the last bit straight. Yes. Yes, we won and we crashed! We do a celebration to win and then we crash. So just like that, I've crashed into the wall and I've still won the league race. And Richie got driving.
So as you can see, they're very, very happy from my live feed that
should be me.
We won our first league race, and it is absolutely brilliant. I felt so happy. It was a nice little hobby to take up, Ross, in the middle of lockdown. I'll be honest, I'm surprised why I didn't do it before than once. I'm actually having so much fun as part of the racing league that I'm part of at the moment. So for those of you who are watching, I obviously put this together through highlights through my Twitch stream, so I apologise if there's any the mix up of me sort of talking over myself from my live stream. There's something I'll think for future videos. I'll just record the gameplay. I probably won't end up broadcasting it on Twitch, just record the gameplay, because my computer's not powerful enough, and just put it onto highlights in the future. So once again, thank you all so much for watching my video. If you like Formula 1, and if you like Formula 1 gaming, then be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit like, as well as a notification for some weekly content. Leave a comment as well how you felt about the video, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.